With under 3 days until BlizzCon, many including myself are excited to see what's next for WoW in general, but for us gold makers more than many. The last few weeks have been what we call a downtime, with no major gold reward or goals to set for the average gold maker. It could be lackluster for some or discouraging for others due to this. Nevertheless, even dry times come to an end. Recently I put a poll out asking if y'all were preparing and stockpiling while you can. Many are not, which is why I'm making this video. We do not know 100% of what will be shown at BlizzCon, but if I had to guess, we should be getting a new raid reveal. With info of the next patch being out in March, this seems that will happen. Of course, the story of Shadowlands must move on. As we all know, most of the main climax of the story will revolve around raids, which leads us to why you should stockpile. That question is very simple. It's time. Many wonder how a lot of players get thousands of herbs or thousands of ore. Other than bots or multi-boxing, people prep or stockpile. We're not going to go into the ethics or how this can or will affect the gold economy. If you are here to complain about that, then you really don't want to make gold. One of the things people forget is you are here to make gold for yourself, not others. Prices will settle as always and you will see a demand go up. So let's put out a plan for those who want to invest in stockpiling and not buying a thing. Let's take herbalism. If you were to farm any herb an hour a day at 200 per hour from here to last day of March, seeing we know that this next raid won't be coming in March, you will get a total of 8,600 herbs. Depending on herb price, it can vary. Here's the list of how much they would be right now. These prices are based on now, but March end prices could be a little lower or higher. All depends on demand. Of course, this is just an example, and to be honest, herbs like Death Blossom will be used for other things than just selling straight on the auction house. Remember, this is based on 1 hour a day. More you do, the more you make. Also note that when you pick something to farm, make sure you are dedicated to it. I know boredom is the #1 killer of gold making, so try to change your route up or such, maybe do 1 week of Marrow Root, then 1 week of Nightshade, and so forth. Whatever your choice is, do make sure you have a goal. Having gold to one's end in gold making helps a lot, whether it be pets, mounts, or Blizzard games. You should prepare yourself for lower outcomes, meaning let's say you farm said herb and it's not sell for the said price. Instead of giving up, I would suggest look into making tomes or inscription items. You see a lot of players seem to think they failed because said item will not sell. I'm here to say that is wrong. Many material items have a second use or even a third use than just plainly farming and posting. What a player needs to do is find that point in their server where it works and use that to their advantage. Just because Johnny can sell all his herbs on the auction house does not mean Amanda can sell her herbs on her auction house and her server just as Johnny did. Each economy is different, and to the point of this video is preparing. I will be going over some info I would like to share to vet and new gold players alike. I hope this helps some. One of the main factors people fail at stockpiling the right material is due to research of one's server. I said this many times and will keep saying this, use Undermine Journal. I made a video that will be linked below that helps you understand the Undermine Journal. Not sponsored by them, but I use it a lot. So get your research on before you farm said material. You do not want to waste time farming something your server does not sell much of. Next thing is info, which is like the last thing I mentioned, but info coming from YouTubers. You see a lot of YouTubers think that just cause they show a spot, it's going to be amazing for all. This is wrong, and I have done this before, but I learned from it. When you watch a YouTuber about a farm or auction house, take it for a grain of salt. Most of the time it's based on their servers, which in turn they're not doing it out of spite or out of anything wrong. They're just getting excited or they put it out there just like I used to do and so forth. It's nothing wrong with it and it's not towards any YouTuber, but I want to say that there's many factors that range on servers from medium, low, and high pop. If said YouTuber is low, then of course many times it will not work on a high or medium server. My point is their heart is in the right place. But remember, as info seeker for gold, check your server's pop, materials sold per day, and see if it's botted or packed there. I always go for the non-popular spots due to many groups at the most known. Here is an example. Let's say Farm A gives you gold for 20,000 gold per hour, and let's say Farm B is a decent one but gives you 10,000 gold per hour. But Farm A has tons of people there, which in turn drops your gold value by half or more. Why would you go to Farm A? It makes no sense. That is the question I've been asking a lot of players since I started making gold. Also, I've been telling people having options, because Blizzard nerfs things and best spots are always overcrowded, is a way to go. If you have more than one option than the popular option, you will never have to worry about nerfs or anything like that because you have options. So in the end, take everything with a grain of salt, even my advice, because it might not work for you or it might do. So next on our list is how easy is it to obtain. Just recently, epics became easier to DE. Just a few tunes at high re-owned can have many epic gear up on World Quest. But before that, it was hard to DE epics into crystals. Most materials are easy to obtain, but some are rare compared to others. You would need to find out per server and item. It is not enough just to see if the item is rare. You also need to find out if it's worth it on your server. Items you might think that are worth a lot can change on your server. Outlet rares used to be worth a lot, but some are now worthless due to over farming. Even then, you need supply and demand. Without that, items do not sell. AKA rare T-Mog are the big items that fall in this category. Example, let's say you got minor helmet worth millions, but in truth, it will take months or weeks, if not more, to sell it if you're lucky. One of the key things you need to realize is simple. What you get will not sell for anywhere close to max gold it's worth, more like 25% or less of its current value. BOEs for current expansion are different since it's current expansion and wanted by many players to progress. So this is another thing that I want to talk about. Why save and not sell now? Cause supply and demand. At the moment, it's slowed down. Most guilds have players that farm materials and have the time seeing there's not world first or anything else going on for them. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some who still buy, but this is meaning lower sales or lower prices due to the ones who do. But when there is a time frame for raid, people tend to buy up for their guilds due to this. It's not just cause they don't have time, it's a mental state. Example, have you ever been in the grocery store for an event like Super Bowl? That week people are buying up things for football parties and such. So the store sells a lot seeing the event is soon. Same concept, just wow. One of the main things people hate is posting. A lot of players hate the fact they have to repost and repost again and so forth. Something them and I never look forward to. I'm in the same boat as y'all. I hate playing the auction house game. This is worse than when it's a downtime. As I stated, supply and demand plays a big part in all this. You would notice that when it comes to weeks before the raid or new content, you really don't have to sit there and repost. Yes, if you're the auction house type of person, but most of the time you post and they will sell within minutes, if not an hour. This is why some of the bigger sellers wait and don't rush. I went over a few things that you should keep in mind when stockpiling and what to expect. I'm going to leave you with the key points that you can actually use. First, team up if you have a material that is lootable and not skinnable. Second, turn off world mode. I know that world mode can actually help you a lot if you have a big server, but a lot of horde and a lot of alliance like to gank people, so you really don't want to be there. 3. Use key items like Sky Golem, Dark Moon Firewater, and such. If you're not a druid, these are essential and you really need them. 4. Get the add-on /routes and import the route strings that you find off of people's videos. This is something that will help you along the way, and honestly, it's something that's a life changer when you're gathering. 5. Do your own research. Yes, I know people make videos, I make videos and so forth, but always check your server because it's different. It's always different. Even if I use mid prices, it could be, half of that or more than that and so forth. 6, and this is the biggest one, do not stop. If you stop gold making and you said, oh man, I can't do this or it's too much, you're never gonna make that gold for whatever you want. If you stick to these key points and info I have given, you can be on the right way to make some gold. I'm here as always to help you make that gold. If you have any questions, let me know. I plan on answering them in a video or soon. That said, expect a lot more from me. There is still a lot I can go over to help you in long term and short term. With that, I want to say thank you so much to my Patreons for going that extra mile. Remember, supporting this way helps me a lot. If you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe, and as always, stay stashy.